Hello again! This is part 3 of my Jordan vlog. I hope you'll also enjoy this one.
After the long hour drive from Wadi Ram, I finally arrived at Hilton Dead Sea. And I was completely exhausted by the time I reached the hotel.
But all that tiredness disappeared when I got checked in and found out that I've been upgraded from a standard room to a suite. Well, not just a suite with the sea view. That kind of upgrade rarely happens, and I for one couldn't wait to show you the room. And yes, of course, I have a room tour prepared for you to see. This was supposed to be a standard room, but they upgraded me to a suite. So, we are going to do a room tour. Let me show you around. So first, let me show you the walk-in closet. So you have your cabinets here. And you have some open shelves over here. Next, come take a look at the living area. It's super cozy, like the kind of space you just want to sink into after a long day. And see, it came with a little surprise. Now let's talk about the bedroom. Please tell me why this bed looks like it's gonna fix all my problems. It's huge, it's soft, it's giving main character energy. And finally, let's go to my favorite part of the suite. And the best part, of course, the tub. It faces the balcony, which has a view of the Dead Sea.
The next morning, I decided to take it slow. I got up late, had a relaxing breakfast, and spent some time at the pool, doing a few laps to wake up and enjoy the calm of the hotel, just before heading to the Dead Sea itself. By noon, I headed to the Dead Sea to finally try floating for myself. I've heard about it for years, and I've been really curious. And it felt so good to finally cross it off my bucket list. The moment I started floating effortlessly, it felt completely unreal. The water was coarse and slightly crazy, I would say, unlike any other body of water I've ever been in. One of the staff, his name was Hussein, instructed me to float for about 10 minutes before moving on to the mud bath. Naturally, I started planning how I'd look in photos, but things never go as planned, do they? I was surprised when Hussein started covering my entire head with mud. I couldn't stop laughing, and that's when I thought, this has to be in the vlog. Then, you have to let the mud dry before rinsing it off. Afterward, I enjoyed a salt scrub, leaving my skin feeling incredible. To top it off, Hussein handed me a certificate to commemorate the experience. It was truly one of the most real once-in-a-lifetime spa experiences I have ever had. A natural spa at the lowest point on earth. After resting back in my room, I prepared for a short walk before I returned to the Dead Sea for another mud bath in the afternoon. The golden hour light transformed the entire place. The water shimmered, the hills glowed, and everything softened into this warm, dreamy haze. It was one of those moments where reality feels almost like a dream.
One interesting thing that I noticed is that on the surface, The water was pretty cool, but as you dip below, it was surprisingly warm. You know, that contrast was really fascinating, and it really added another layer to this very unique experience.
During this golden hour, the light was perfect, and I managed to get some amazing photos. The water shimmered a little more, and I took the time to float one last time, letting the moment sink in before heading back to my room to rest and get ready for my final day in Jordan.
On my last day in Jordan, before heading to the airport, I made one final stop, the baptismal site. The entry cost around 12 Jordanian dinars, which includes a guided tour of the area.
The tour began at Elijah's Hill, a historical lookout that offers panoramic views of the surrounding valley. This hill has been mentioned in the scriptures as a place of worship and reflection, setting the stage for the spiritual significance of the Jordan River region. From there, we moved to the actual baptismal site, where centuries-old evidence confirms that John the Baptist performed baptisms here. As you walk through the area, you can feel the layers of history and spirituality that have shaped this sacred space. The tour concludes at the Jordan River, home to the Church of the Baptism of the Lord. Standing here, it's impossible not to reflect on the profound history, faith, and stories that have unfolded along these waters for thousands of years. Across the river lies another country. A strange and humbling sight, knowing that there's a whole nation right there, yet one cannot cross.
Jordan has been nothing short of extraordinary. From the ancient city of Petra and the otherworldly landscapes of Wadi Rum to the surreal floating in the Dead Sea. And finally, standing at the baptismal site. Every moment here felt like stepping through layers of history and nature.
Experiences like floating effortlessly on the lowest point on earth, covering myself in mineral-rich mud, and walking where centuries of faith and history converge. These are moments that stay with you forever. As I looked out at the Jordan River, with another country on the far bank, I'm reminded how small we are in the vastness of history and geography, yet also how connected we are to it. Jordan leaves you humbled, inspired, and completely in awe.
Thank you for joining me in this unforgettable journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep discovering, and never stop seeking the stories that the world has to offer.